So first of all, I need to apologize if you guys hear any thumping, banging, percussive noises, drum solos that sound like they belong in a John Cage song, because it seems as though my neighbors in the unit off to my right feel like that this is time to hammer shit. It's hammer time.
Your neighbors your neighbors in the G unit? Is it 50 Cent
yes.
over there? Is he acting up
neighbors
again?
In the G unit, Austin.
Do you remember when that was a
neighbors,
thing?
I have neighbors who full well know how hard it is out there for a pimp.
Tell Fiddy we're recording a podcast over here. I'm tired of his bullshit.
I don't understand any of your references.
Hey, guys.
Yeah.
Let's not fuck around. The most important topic of the week. Let's just start right there. Did you guys see the new owl Pokemon, Rowlet? It's a fucking grass owl, and it's so cute. It's my precious, adorable bird son.
Does that mean it's an owl made out of grass or an owl that lives in grass?
It's grass type, so it just has like a kind of green color palette, and it has like a little leaf
Austin's
bow tie.
Insinuating that Rowlet may be into smoking the herb.
It's a stoner owl. It's grass type, Leon, in Pokemon.
I don't know what that means.
They have types like affinities.
Actually, you know what? Austin, don't tell me.
Okay. Cool.
That was a nice way of dodging the conversation there, Leon.
Yeah. No, Rowlet's so good though. They revealed 3 new Pokemon. There's a fire kitten, there's a water sea lion, and then there's a grass bird, and they're all precious babies, and I love them. I'll fight for them.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Hit it.
Do either of you guys feel like it's sort of like weirdly unreasonable that since the last time we recorded this podcast, since the last time we recorded Word Funk, and this recording today, Radiohead
Fuck, that was my other topic.
released not one single, okay, but 2 singles, as well as announcing their new album, and then subsequently releasing it.
Have you listened to the whole thing? I've only heard Burn the Witch and Daydreaming.
I have listened to the whole thing about 3 or 4 times.
Oh, dang. It looks like it's only streaming on Tidal, which I do not have a subscription to.
I bought it off their website. I gave them my monies.
Like
And
an
then they
old
gave
person.
me some songs.
What do you think? I really, really like Burn the Witch, and the music video is just the Wicker Man, which is pretty cool. Claymation Wicker Man.
Yeah, it's a magic roundabout Wicker Man, which is probably lost on you guys, but I grew up with English parents, so...
I mean, I've seen the film, so the whole thing isn't lost to me if there's like subtext I'm missing.
No,
Possibly.
it's the magic roundabout was a television series before it was, I guess, a movie. I forgot that they had done a movie.
Oh.
But it was a stop motion animation. Really, like it has this notoriety in English culture insofar as that it was like adults would go home and like have a few jars, as it were, and watch the Magic Roundabout because it was like just downright trippy to them. I can't think of a North American analog for it. Like a kid's show that appeals just as much. I suppose, like, some of the cartoons we're getting these days, like Gravity Falls or Steven Universe, might fall in line with that. But yeah, it kind of hit.
Adventure Time is the trippy one.
Yeah, Adventure Time, I guess, would work. But anyways, Burn the Witch is probably the standout of the album, to tell you the truth.
It's very strong. I wasn't really feeling Daydreaming the first time I heard it, but I've listened to it a couple more, and it's growing on me. I do like the video is just Tom York looking really greasy. He's just like the greasiest boy alive, and he's just stumbling around doing basically nothing.
Daydreaming is really more the tone that most of the album hits. Like Burn the Witches, it's catchy. There's a kind of a weird orchestral upbeatness to it, you know. It doesn't like, I don't know. It never really kicks into rock though.
Mm-mm.
You know, it's just this kind of like marching progressive.
I don't think they've had a rock song since like Body Snatchers off In Rainbows, like the last time they actually like rocked.
Yeah. That having been said, it's more it seems more organized and tonal than their last album, than
King of Limbs.
than King of Limbs. King of Limbs was like, it was really minimalist. It was like, you know, it was almost like an experience in making songs and then unmaking them and then recording the unmade songs.
Mm-hmm. I feel bad for poor fucking Leon right now. Has not only no idea what we're talking about, but would literally like to talk about anything else.
It's okay. You know, this show isn't all about me. You know, we can't always have Leon time.
I just want you to feel included.
No, it's okay. I liked Radiohead when they were a band, and not when they became pure energy and turned into Star Children.
That's fair. I still say OK Computer is not only their best, but the best album ever made, and that was like their last one before they became what they are now with Kid A. But
yeah,
I did find their modern stuff interesting, at least. But did you have stuff you wanted to jump into, Leon, or do you want to keep going on this?
Before we move on, I just want to say that they did include on the album like a final album version of the song "True Love Waits."
Yep.
Which is like, there are live recordings of Radiohead performing "True Love Waits" for years. And like their final rendition of it, there's something. They've turned it into something else. I don't know. Like it's slower pace. There's no guitar in it because the live recordings are all like acoustic guitars and like a little bit of keyboard. This is all like piano and ambient noise and just like, I don't know. It feels like somebody is talking to me through a magic mirror. Like, you know, when you see those fairy tale movies or like, you know, Dungeons and Dragons, and then there's like this mirror and it's like, Karth, and you get this like weird swirly, like, you know, and someone appears and is like, "Yes, my lord," but there's this weird like filter on the voice, and you're sort of like, okay, you're not like, you know, this, you're not, you guys aren't FaceTiming, you guys are talking through the devil string. There's a little bit of that. It sounds like somebody is singing a Radiohead song to me from beyond the grave or something like that. I like it. I like the album. I'm digging it, but it's just like, it hasn't fully landed yet. Like I said, I've only listened to it like 3 or 4 times so far. So it's a better album than King of Limbs, I think, at a glance. So
I bet doing a full music podcast would be hard. Like I considered it before we landed on Game Crunk, but just doing this now, it's like, wow, so much of it is hard to convey in words, and like it's so reliant on the listener also having familiarity with the material. It's hard to like evoke specifically what you're discussing, and I think that's pretty interesting because I don't find that difficult in any other medium. Like even if no one's seen a film, I can like paint you a word picture, or like a video game, I can like kind of put the controller in your mind's hands, but I just can't like bring a song into your brain, and that's it's an interesting limitation.
Certainly different. I imagine you develop a skill set for it as time goes on.
From what I've seen in music reviews, they just don't bother. They're like one paragraph, and they're like, yeah, it's pretty. Like Pitchfork's the only people who like still write music reviews, and I mean, their reviews are interestingly written, but also not for me as a music listener. Anyway, Leon, 10 minutes stranded from your own podcast, thrown adrift.
It's okay. It's whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
Come back. Get some vengeance.
Yeah, come on, Leon. Tell us what's what.
I'm here, but I don't have any particular topics to talk about this week.
I have topics out the butt.
This is one of those I'm going with the flow kind of weeks. But unfortunately, we started on music. So that's just the way that is.
Sorry, Leon, I keep trying to get you involved in music. I keep trying to, like,
I know.
pass you new things and be like, hey, what do you think of this? Hey, how about this?
I appreciate it, but it's like, even when it's like good, it's like not enough to make me want to follow the scene, if that makes any sense.
I don't follow the scene. I don't know what that means.
Allow me to rephrase. If I hear a song I like, I'm like, oh, neat. It doesn't make me want to listen to more music. I'm just kind of done at that point. It's just not a thing that I like.
I see. So okay. it falls in the same enjoyment zone as like video games, where you're like, I will pick one up. I will play it. If I enjoy it, I may continue to play it. When I am done, I will put it down.
Yes, that is exactly it. I would rather eat a grilled cheese sandwich than listen to a great rock album, because I would get more immediate and almost instinctual enjoyment out of the sandwich.
I think that's the way most people consume media. Like the thing we do with like movies, and me and Johnny with video games, is kind of psychotic when you step back from it, right? Like the level of our commitment to these things is not normal or healthy.
Is weird.
Okay, I'm just making sure we realize this.
No, it's fine. I mean, I movies are the thing I like the most out of all, my quote unquote interests. But it's also my job, so I have a sort of like I'm literally invested in it monetarily. But I might play another video game someday. I hear Explodamon is fun, so I might do that at some point. But I don't have any topics for this week. It's been a good week though. I mean, nothing bad is happening in my life. All good things. My ex-wife actually is signing a lease to go into an apartment with her friend. So that happens at the beginning of next month. So I'm gonna, finally have my place to myself.
You're gonna be really living the single guy life.
Yeah.
You're gonna start throwing those raucous fuck parties that you're famous for.
Yeah. No, in all seriousness, I'm very
grilled cheese for dinner every night, baby.
The only things that will be noticeably different are yes, I will, in theory, be able to date again. Although I'm not like super into it. And I will be able to walk around in my underwear more, which is always good. For me, not for anyone who has to look at it. And I'll be able to have complete control over what goes into my refrigerator, which sounds like not a big deal. But for me, because like, I used to be thinner than I am. I'm not heavy or anything, but I would prefer to be thinner than I am currently. But if there's food in my home and I'm hungry, I'm just going to eat it, like no matter what it is, even if it's stuff that's not necessarily good for me. But when I choose my own food, my diet is quite. Huh? Oh, if there's junk food in my home and I'm hungry, I'm going to eat it.
I'm looking for more specific examples here.
Star Crunch.
I don't know.
Little Debbie things. I don't know, like cakes and stuff. Like I it doesn't really matter. I don't have a specific example. I'm just saying that my diet is different when I'm living alone.
No, I've definitely been there. Like I make healthy choices when left to my own devices, but I'm also susceptible. I wouldn't say peer pressure, but to secondhand bad decisions.
Yeah, I mean, I just look. If I'm hungry. And I'm gonna eat something. I'm gonna open up the refrigerator, and even though I know it's not a good idea, I'm probably gonna eat it anyway. I guess I'm wired that way.
So, like ice cream?
Sure, I guess.
What's your favorite ice cream?
You keep asking for like all these specifics. It doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter.
It'd be one thing if he was like if he was trying to build like a comedy improv routine. He's like, yeah, give me a noun. Yeah, yes and ice cream. Okay, we can riff on that. But he just like wants to know because he's Johnny.
Right, I understand. There's this isn't interesting. Is what I'm saying. I wasn't gonna bring this up, but yeah, that's what's going on in my life.
Don't you tell me what I find interesting.
Okay, fine. But my life is going, in upward, motion right now. Not only for that reason, but also like I have like fun things, on the horizon, and
like Ren Fair.
No, I'm going to Hershey Park by around the end of the month.
I don't know what that
because
is.
What? I've been to
Oh,
Hershey Park. It's in Pennsylvania.
It's an amusement park.
Ooh.
I used to go to those when I was younger, but I haven't in years for reasons. And now I feel like I want to, so I'm going to. It's not that far from where I live. Oddly enough, I live around a lot of amusement parks. Hershey Park is like an hour and a half away. Six Flags is like 20 minutes away. King's Dominion and Busch Gardens.
Are you gonna eat a corn dog?
I guess if I'm going to Hershey Park, I'll probably be eating a lot of chocolate, which again is not good for me. But if I'm there, I feel like I'm on vacation, so I don't have to justify this.
Are you gonna eat a chocolate corn dog?
If they have them, I mean, I'm not gonna not do it.
I mean, Hershey Park was fun when I went because I was like 8 or some shit. I was like really young. I don't know how much fun it would be for an adult because my memory was just like walking around in candy.
Oh, I love walking around.
Okay,
I love walking around.
You guys are
in
telling me
candy.
that Hershey Park is actually like the Hershey?
Yeah, they own it.
Yeah, it was a
Presumably
family.
they made it as well. I mean,
Well, I don't mean the family itself. They didn't. The CEO didn't say, "Okay, here's a hammer." But yes, they in fact funded it and built it, and it's a big amusement park, and it's been there for a long, long time, and it's fun. I just haven't been in a long time.
So you guys have an entire amusement park that was designed and commissioned by a manufacturer that is chiefly known for its candy.
And
yeah, just like Busch Gardens is funded by Busch. So, which I believe is an alcoholic beverage.
Okay. All right.
I mean, we also have a theme park based on a guy who drew pictures of rats. Like, whatever.
Right.
Theme parks are weird.
Yeah, but I mean, he brought delight to millions of children worldwide.
So does chocolate.
Didn't really make anybody fat in the process.
I feel like he probably made some people fat.
He may have contributed to a sedentary lifestyle, but
yeah.
That
Have you been to Disney World? They sell a lot of shitty food, and for a lot of money too.
I've been to one of the Disney places.
What does that mean?
There's a Disney World, and there's a Disneyland, and then there's a Euro Disney, and I think one more.
Yeah, but which one did you go to? Is what I'm asking.
I don't remember which one. It's the one in.
How can you not?
No, I mean I remember where it was. I just don't remember. It's the one in Austin's neighborhood.
Yeah, World is in Florida.
Well, that's Disney World.
Okay.
Does that mean you went to the Magic Kingdom or Epcot Center or the studios?
All of the above, I think.
Oh, neat. Good for you.
And
Me too.
also
I did.
Universal Studios.
Oh, yeah. I've been there once, but that was a long time ago when it was crappy. Apparently it's better now.
There was a robotic Jaws.
Good.
That was like,
I'm glad.
Rawr! Which was weird because sharks don't make noise.
Johnny, all Jaws are robotic.
I know. I assumed that this was a different robotic Jaws.
No, I don't think it's the prop. I'm just saying. Never mind.
Wow.
I don't know what we're talking about anymore.
All right. Do you guys want to keep talking about theme parks? Because I'm sure we have stories, but we can also move on.
We do. I do have stories, but they're not that interesting. I didn't say this as entertainment. I was just talking.
I'm full of interesting stories.
Word funk. We were just talking. We're sorry.
Yeah. Everyone knows I'm not trying to make a show, and that
I know your disdain is palpable. And that's what we love about you.
No, I'm saying the whole word funk. I mean, the fact that anyone listens to it is like an afterthought.
I think what Leon's trying to say is that he's using this mostly as therapy.
Yeah, this is just us hanging out. Oh, funny thing. Someone said the word "skrink" the other day. I didn't know what it meant, so I looked it up on Urban Dictionary, and this is what "skrink" means. Skrink is the best thing in the world that someone can be. It's very hard to become one. It's short for scrinkle. A scrod is the complete opposite short for scroddle, and it's very easy to become one. It's the worst thing in the world and the worst insult. Lauren and Steph are permanent skrinks. I feel like this was written by someone who just...
I was having a stroke during that entire explanation. What? That's garbage, right?
I don't know.
Because anyone can add anything to Urban Dictionary. One of our listeners added some shit we made up to it once. Like
that's true, but that's real.
The full Leon sex position, which is still a thing.
Yeah.
Tell your friends, but there's no oversight.
That's fair. The two
which is weird because the full Leon does actually require some oversight to actually be a safe sexual position.
The two examples for skrink are, gee, Lauren, you sure are a skrink. Why, thank you, Steph. You are also a skrink.
Fuck those bitches. Wait, I thought skrink's a good thing. Maybe they like those people.
I don't know. I don't even know anymore.
I'm surprised nobody added, what the fuck was it? That racial slur we made up? Poppos? Someone needs to add poppos to Urban Dictionary.
I'll look it up right now and see if it's in there.
Okay.
How do you spell poppos?
Did we ever settle on a canon spelling? I imagine P-A-P-O.
I don't think so. I think the only
Popo.
time we ever really went after spelling was when there was that sudden schism in the Church of Gorfanax.
Yeah.
Which I think Leon just bullied his way to the top of that fucking reformation.
It just goes to show, once you're in control of the flow of information, i.e. editing, you're basically rise to the top.
I know. Our early tweets disputing the spelling of Gorfanax are like the Dead Sea Scrolls of Gorfanaxiology.
Popo is a word, and it's spelled how I thought it would be. P-A-P-P-O. One does not define Popo easily. A great man once said, one does not fully become a Popo ever. Being a Popo is more an ideal than a state of being. When you are a Popo, you get a warm and fuzzy feeling on the inside, and you know you are making parents proud.
Did anybody else smell burnt toast?
Popos are many things. Kind, encouraging, courageous, and above all, their many traits.
No.
They are Popo-licious.
No, Popo is a derogatory term for people from Papua New Guinea. That's what it means.
I know. This is bullshit. They don't understand. Oh, by the way, this person is biased, obviously, because it was written by someone named Popo Bear.
Ethics. Hashtag journalism. Follow the money.
Yeah, it's a bunch of shit.
They're
all right, I'm sorry. I shouldn't be just dicking around Urban Dictionary.
I mean, you can.
Yeah. I don't see the full Leon there.
Oh, they might maybe someone got mad and deleted it because it wasn't possible with human bodies the way they are.
Oh well. Wait, but no, there it is. It's just under full Leon, not the full Leon. Yeah.
You have to add like a C also.
I don't know.
So this is what we're doing now. We're just gonna edit wikis for the rest of this.
Okay, I'm sorry. Anyway, Austin, you said you had a bunch of things you wanted to talk about this week. Let's hit those instead of listening to my bull crap.
Oh man, that's a good idea. I was pretty sick this last week. I didn't get a lot done. I'm sorry if you sent me a message or something because I was just not useful for a large part of it. But the highlight of my week was, I think it was around midnight my time. I dragged myself over to the computer, check emails and stuff, and I saw a tweet from Johnny, which was a GIF of the opening scene of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure: Phantom Blood, which he had tweeted at me. And then he proceeded to binge/live tweet the entirety of part 1 while flipping the fuck out on Twitter. And it was perhaps one of the greatest things ever in my life. Jesus Christ, Johnny, how far have you gotten in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure?
I remember that, Austin. I was there.
It was good. That whole thing was performance art.
I think I've finished the first 15 episodes. I'm on episode 15 or 16 now at this point in time.
Okay, so you're like almost halfway through part 2, maybe? Like you've met Caesar and Joseph.
Yeah. Joseph, of course, gets introduced in the first episode. Met Caesar. The last thing that happened, which was an episode that I watched yesterday, was Mark just got his face melted off,
Oh fuck.
and we were introduced to Lord Cars,
Mm-hmm.
Lord Wham,
Mm-hmm.
and Lord AC/DC.
Hell yes. The three
Hmm?
the three sexiest, buffest ancient Mesoamerican vampires in history.
All I gotta tell you is that if I was gonna get frozen in like a stone relief of some sort, I would pose like that. Maybe in
It's
like slightly different clothes, because I have a tendency to get like, I figured that, you know, if I was gonna be woken up like 5,000 years after I got frozen in a stone relief, that I might be a little bit chilly. So there might be a little bit more fur, perhaps. You know, but yeah, I would pose like that. That would happen.
they're as close to naked as possible without actually being naked. So what do you think of it? What do you think of this weird ass show I forced you to watch?
Well, I feel like I would have more developed opinions of it if I knew how serious they were being.
I mean, bizarre is in the name, so no, probably not very serious.
No, you know, but I mean, yeah, sometimes it like it goes in like one direction, and then like just 90-degree turn completely in the other direction, where they try and like, you know, I don't know, there seems to be like real drama that they create, and then the next moment, nonsense, like complete and total nonsense.
It's mostly nonsense, yeah. So there's occasional like emotional beats and stuff, like part one, some major characters die and it's sad, but then it's also like sexy vampires doing lots of poses and shit. So like it's hard to take any of it seriously. But you kind of just have to let it wash over you. Like you can't. I find it hard to actually sit back and like review any of it, because like on a paper level, like it is flawed. Like the pacing is a little weird. There isn't much animation in the anime. Some of the manga art is hard to follow. But like none of that matters. It's just so fucking glorious.
It's kind of a complete experience. I agree. Like it you know, like if I had to pause it every time I needed to digest something that happened, I don't think I would get through the series. I don't think I would have gotten through part 1 at all. Yeah, I mean, like its tonal shifts are crazy, and just like I don't like the way that it manages to just suddenly invent new techniques. Like this is a thing about a lot of anime that I've never really been able to understand, that I can't quite grasp.
Mm-hmm.
That like you know like Dragon Ball Z, for example. Dragon Ball Z, from what I've seen of Dragon Ball Z, is that it's like a very slow approach to becoming the galaxy's most ultimate warrior. Only it's every single time that you become the ultimate warrior, it's like, oh, that's it. He's done it now. Oh, that's like ultimate. Ooh. And then they just bring a villain in who's slightly more ultimate than that.
Yeah, the power levels trap and like the power creep.
And then it's
the
like,
power
oh,
creep, really.
jeez, man, I don't know. I mean, he's already so good. How can he? Oh my God, he did it. Oh, damn. Oh, jeez, he's the ultimate now. Oh, wow.
I mean,
nope, not anymore. Sorry, no.
The two things I'd say about that is, one, JoJo really, if not invented, at least codified a lot of tropes that have come to define shonen, like battle anime and manga over the years. Like, I believe JoJo's before Dragon Ball even. It came out in like the mid 80s. So like a lot of the stuff that is cliche in it was actually fresh at the time. And
I'm aware of this. I mean, you've told me about this, and it's funny because I sort of feel like the adaptation knows that and decides to like present it in a different way.
The adaptation is crazy faithful, like panel for panel. Like the attention to detail is obsessive in some of this. Like they did a really great job.
But I mean, not just in the panel detail, but I mean specifically in like the musical cues and the voice acting. Like that's all very specific to the adaptation, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
and those choices make it like so glaringly obvious that they are having fun with it more than they're taking it seriously.
The most impressive thing about the JoJo anime is that it has gotten people to care about the band Yes. Like nobody's given a shit about Yes since like the 70s, and now suddenly like the roundabout music video has like 10 million views.
Not true. They did do some music for the original Homeworld game.
Uh-huh.
So RTS nerds were like, "Oh my god, yes." For like a brief blip in the 90s, the late 90s.
The other thing I want to say about the power levels, though, is that I think the writer was aware of it, because as I said, the first two are kind of this more traditional martial arts thing. It's kind of like, what if Fist of the North Star had vampires? And it's like, oh, this vampire is invincible. Oh, this one is invincible and it has eye lasers. There's like, they keep raising the stakes. But at the end, it's like, there's nowhere to go at the end of part 2. So what are the next 6 parts about? And that's like where JoJo became a phenomenon, really, is starting with part 3, because they get stands, which are like essentially personas, from if you're more familiar with the Persona series, and that's where it just gets fucking nutsy cuckoo.
So part 3 is where my heart will open up to this for real. Because I mean,
I would hope
don't get me wrong. I'm enjoying part 2 more than I'm enjoying part 1.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still kind of like struggling to see the legendary status of this.
Yeah. Part 1 would not be remembered at all if it weren't for the rest of it. Part 2 would be an interesting curio, if nothing else, for its homoeroticism. But if it's not until part 3 where it's like, oh, now this is notable. This is the thing that like people need to pay attention to, because it's influenced so much. The stands, the fashion, like there are like, I'm probably gonna fuck this up, but I think Gucci has like partnered with JoJo before for like actual fashion products, because in some of the directions it goes in, it's a crazy aesthetic influence on a lot of stuff, and also just the stuff it does for shonen battles. Basically, it's not about who can punch harder; it's about like these crazy elaborate bullshit applications of superpowers, and it's wow. It goes some places, and I really, really dig it. Even if it's not like good, it's not good, but it's a thing, and I love it.
Well, stay tuned, because I'm not off it yet. So
yeah,
and I've got a ways to go, as I understand it.
Yeah, I mean you're almost like to the halfway point of the anime that exists. They've just started part 4.
Really?
So, yeah.
Okay, I was under the impression that it was going to be slightly longer than that.
The first 2 parts are shorter, but like you're gonna catch up with the anime pretty quick, and then you'll be like caught up. Like the part 8 exists in manga, but that's gonna be years down the line. I really hope they at least get to part 6, because that's the one that takes place in Florida. So if you thought JoJo was weird before, there's a stand in part 6 that brings all the Disney characters to life. It's called Bohemian Rhapsody. Yeah,
they're not going to let that happen.
Oh no, there's all the names changed. Like, AC/DC in part 2 is spelled like ESI.
Yeah.
Like whatever. It's spelled like garbage. Like Wham is Whamu. Cars is with a K. Master Tom Petty is Ton Petty. I think they like garble all the names.
Yeah.
In the current season, Bad Company becomes Worst Company, and Red Hot Chili Peppers becomes, I think, just Chili Peppers. Like, they've definitely, like, garble all the names, but that's half the fun, really, watching them in translation. But, so as part of this, if you're a longtime listener, you know that I have been trying to get these two to watch JoJo for a long time. And, like, the counter proposal was that I do something equivalent on the other end. So while I was sick, I started chipping away at Star Trek. And I have
Leon?
a lot of thought. Yeah, I would say we can bring Leon back.
Do you see what you get here, Leon? For a little give and take, Leon? Just a little bit of cultural exchange, huh?
What kind of Star Trek did you watch? Because there's a lot.
Yeah, there's a ton. I typed Star Trek into Netflix. Like 50 movies and 20 shows came up. So I found the one with the earliest date. And and started watching that. I watched the first 5 episodes of the original series. The first one the first one does not star Kirk, but the next 4 do.
No, oh god, you watched the pilot.
What does that mean? Okay,
Good old Christopher Pike.
The women. Oh god.
Tell me your thoughts before I spill mine, because I've been talking for a while.
Oh my god, it's terrible. Oh my god. And first of all, everyone wants to fuck Captain Pike. The whole episode revolves around the fact, at the end, these guys are reading all the women's minds, like, wow, you want to fuck him too, and oh, you do, and oh, you pretend like you don't, but you sure do. And then Captain Pike sees a green woman, and one of the guys says, they like being sex slaves. And it is the grossest episode of what would become a very progressive series. It is just filthy, in every conceivable way. It is an unpleasant experience to watch it. By the way, a lot of the characters that you see in the pilot, well, you probably already have realized this, having seen more. They're not there anymore. So, or got switched up. So that's how I feel. About that.
Every episode introduces new characters who everyone treats like they've been there the whole time before they die horribly. That seems to be a thing. But yeah, so you mentioned the sexism, and that's super obvious. But I've actually, from what I've watched, it seems like sex and sexuality seem to be at the forefront of all of the episodes I've watched so far. I'm looking at the episode list right here of first season. So the first one's called The Cage, which refers to a sex cage they put the captain in. The second episode is The Man Trap, which is about a shapeshifter who tries to trap them with a sexy lady. Then there's Charlie X, which is about a psychic kid who goes psycho because a woman rejects his advances. Then there's The Naked Time, Mud's Women, What Are Little Girls Made Of? There's all of these episodes are explicitly sexual, about sexual themes, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's actually it's an interesting psychoanalytical portrait of the time where, okay, we're going to make this science fiction show, we're going to explore the mysteries of the universe and this bold new frontier for mankind.
Fuck it.
Yeah. Let's just be horny in space. It's very illustrative of the mind of a science fiction nerd at the time. It's oh, what is the most mysterious creature in the universe? Ladies. It just jumps off the screen at you that the people who are involved in this think of women as aliens almost, and that they're just as mysterious. It's a crazy thing to watch in modern day.
Well,
and there's all this macho posturing and stuff.
The whole thing about the original Star Trek is that it was very deliberately designed around, social issues of the time.
The 4th episode, there's this extended monologue where Kirk just looks at the camera and he's what does it mean to be God? Does a god need compassion? We, with our human frailty. It's this entire thing, and it's holy shit, this is not at all like that J.J. Abrams movie I saw. What is
As you go forward in the series, if you even want to, there's less sexy time. I mean, there are still sexy things. For example, Kirk and his yeoman have this will they won't they Sam and Diane thing for a little while. Captain Kirk beds some women. But I think you just came upon a crop.
It's the first. I watched the first 5 chronological episodes. It was not delivered.
Okay, wait a minute. Did you watch Where No Man Has Gone Before?
Yeah, that was the one with the God monologue.
Okay, all right. Yeah. I don't remember that being sexy, but I could be wrong.
It's not sexy, but okay. So there's the female doctor who goes along with the evil dude's plan or whatever. It's not explicitly sexy, but there's an element of sexy nurse thing with it. Also, that reminds me, there's the episode where they get the virus that makes them lose self-control, and all the dudes become violent and drunk, and the one woman who gets it just becomes horny. Seriously, everyone else is locking themselves in their cabin and trying to stab people with a sword. Fucking Sulu rips off his shirt and just gets just gets fucking crazy. I love them so much. There's scene where he grabs Uhura and he says fair maiden, and she's like, sorry, neither of those. Which I thought was pretty fantastic. But yeah, the one woman who gets the virus just gets all up on Kirk's fucking grill, and it's just like, vulcanize me, Captain. It's
okay. There's some like legitimately good episodes in the first season, like Balance of Terror, and Court Martial is good, I think. And Space Seed has Khan in it, if I'm mistaken. That's his first appearance.
Say it right.
No.
You want him to yell Khan, or you just want him to say his whole name?
He wanted me to yell it.
Okay.
I wanted him to yell it.
I'm not going to. So anyway, but yeah, I mean, if you want to continue to watch Star Trek, I don't know why you'd want to watch that one. But
okay, my plan was to watch as much as I could stomach of each individual series, and then whichever one I liked best, try to stick through it. So I'd be like, oh, I tried them all. Here's the one I like.
That's fair, but like we've said before, like the best one is Deep Space Nine, but the first season is the worst. So it's hard. It's hard to get into any particular Star Trek because they take a while to get started.
Yeah, the first season for each one of them is remarkably bad in their own special way.
Except for Voyager,
which I think is funny because they're all like hour-long episodes of like 26 episodes per season. So to get through a bad intro season of Star Trek, you could watch like the entirety of JoJo. This is like a totally unfair thing. That's why I tried to change it to Gundam later. But I wasn't clear.
We'll see what else that I have on me, Austin. So
the thing is, it's kind of hard to find most Gundam streaming. I think only Iron Blood Orphans, Reconquista, and G and Unicorn are available legally out of like 50 years of the show. But I don't know if I was clear. I like this show, Leon.
Good.
I think I'm really surprised how well this show is held up. Like, I've seen old Doctor Who, and it's kind of bad, honestly. It's just like outright bad. And I expected this to kind of be the same thing. Like, my image of early Star Trek was like Kirk fighting that rubber lizard in the quarry.
It's a great episode, but okay.
Like, that's just my cultural idea of it, is a bad fight scene. But watching it, like, they're trying to do philosophical stuff. Like, they're grasping at it, and I think that's interesting. And I'm really surprised at how like cohesive the aesthetic is. Like, it's cheap-ish, but like it works. They do their best with it, and they also don't stretch too far. Like, all the plots so far have been either like psychic powers or viruses or like illusions, which are really easy to do with just like editing tricks. Like, there's no monsters, there's no robots, there's no aliens, which would expose the limits of your budget. Like, I'm sure that happens, but in what I've watched, in what I've watched, they are very conscious of only trying what they can achieve, and that's good filmmaking as far as I'm concerned. So I'm actually enjoying it.
Good.
As dated as it is. I'll probably jump around. But...
Late seasons of Next Generation are actually my favorite.
Mm.
The last 3 seasons, 5, 6, and 7 of Next Generation are my favorite, just because I love the cast so much.
Yeah, I do not like Kirk particularly. His whole like thing is just like, he's like, all problems can be solved by dicks and punches. And it's like, whoa, okay. Interesting role models we have here, but I'm making allowances for the time. Obviously,
he makes some enlightened man decisions during his run, but yeah, I mean, of the captains, he's the most punchy.
It's a product of the time where, you know, like, I mean, television was just saturated with cowboy shows,
right?
You know, where you've got the renegade who shows up in town and shoots the guy, and everybody's like, my hero.
Like, literally, like, the first line of the first episode was like, you know, I don't like having women on the bridge or something. And then like the other woman on the bridge turns to him and he's like, you're different or something. It's like, whoa, that's how we're kicking this off, huh? Yeah, that pilot was rough.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's awful. I actually a friend of the show, Patrick, unemployed historian, and I actually did a podcast about that episode. I guest starred on his podcast to basically just talk about how bad that episode was. So yeah, it's embedded into my brain. But I'm glad you like it. I mean, besides that episode.
I mean, I actually enjoyed it. That's the thing. Like, for all of its bad ideas and it's like old 60s-ness or whatever, like, I've still had fun with it. It's definitely not boring like a lot of shows from that time. So I'll take that. I'll probably come back with more, just as we'll probably have JoJo updates at some point. I feel like I'm not impressing on you, Leon, how bug shit JoJo is. Like, is it coming
really
across?
Not. He's not giving you the lowdown exactly, Leon.
How many episodes are there in total?
Oh shit, like 60?
And each one of them is like a 22-minute runtime.
Mm-hmm.
I have other shit to watch.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
So do I, but I just kind of felt like I needed a break from the X-Files.
Yeah, that's fair.
And man, was it a break.
Yeah.
Okay.
As part 3 is crazy too, because all the villains are themed on classic horror movie villains. So they fight the orangutan from Murders in the Rue Morgue, and they fight like a Freddy Krueger, but who is a baby. There's like some whack ass shit in part 3. I'm really excited for Johnny to get to. I can't wait.
All right.
I'm, I bombed through a whole bunch of episodes on the weekend. I caught a couple yesterday. I'll get there. Don't you worry.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get updates.
All right.
Do you guys want to enter questions now?
Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Off to the questions. Let me pull them up. Okay. Marina L asks, how do you like your coffee?
I don't drink coffee. Next.
Black as midnight on a moonless night.
See, that's the cool answer, is like just bitter and gross. My coffee thing, I don't drink coffee very much. I don't like the idea of being like reliant on caffeine. But if someone's like, hey, I'm going to Starbucks, you want anything? I'll be like, yeah, get me the thing that is closest to a milkshake. Like, I want it to be a surprise that there's coffee in it, but I would like some energy right now. So just fuck me up with sugar.
The only reason why I drink coffee black is that when I was in college, I worked in a coffee shop, and for many years afterwards, almost 10 years, I worked a part-time job in this coffee shop because I had aspirations to be an actor and whatnot, and the flexible schedules worked for me. And while I was there, I was like, well, I may as well know my craft, I guess. So I went from not drinking any coffee at all when I started there to like loading it up with cream and sugar, and then slowly tapering off to the point where it was like, okay, now I need just straight espresso. And now I have an espresso machine, my own grinder. Like, I grind my own beans, I make my own espresso.
Yeah, everyone tells me, I was like, oh, if you get good beans, then it's actually good black. And it's like, that's fine. Like, if you enjoy the taste of coffee, like, knock yourself out.
Oh,
For
no,
me, it's not that about that.
It's totally an acquired taste. Anybody who tells you that coffee tastes good naturally is blowing smoke up your ass. It's one of these things where it's like, I learned to like this because I really needed something to give me a kick in the butt getting out of bed in the morning. And then I realized that there was a scale of palatable to unpalatable.
Yeah, because modern capitalism is incompatible with human biology, so we have to augment ourselves with fucking cyberpunk chemicals to make it through the day. Yay, 21st century. New question. Arsini Brylov asks, oh man, this question is a journey. Any thoughts on Terrence Malick? Would you like to see a superhero movie from him?
I like Terrence Malick. I like the Tree of Life and the Thin Red Line. As I mentioned on my live stream the other night.
When you didn't know what a sine wave was, it cracked me the fuck up.
I don't know what the fuck they were talking about.
It's a mathematical function which you graph on like a wave. It shows like ebb and flow over time.
Yeah, you're gonna have to like but if you spell it like sin, I'm like, what the hell are you talking about, sin wave?
That's how it looks on a calculator.
Okay, but I'm here looking at a monitor that's halfway across the room. So it just says sin wave.
Which sounds like fucking metal as hell.
I know. It's like, what's a sin wave? Because I really want to know. It sounds amazing. Someone didn't put it in context. They just said in the live stream, what do you think about this sin wave?
That should be Meshuggah's new album. Or
like,
Gojira.
It's like,
sin wave.
They didn't explain in context what they meant by that. So I'm like, I don't know. Explain what you mean. Anyway, I'm sorry. We've deviated. I like Terrence Malick. Would I watch a superhero movie by Malick? Yeah, probably. I don't know if it'd be any good, but I probably would watch it.
I mean, I've seen Thin Red Line, and it was okay. Like, I get what he was going for, but it's not like a kind of style of filmmaking I enjoy. But I would just be interested to see what he would do with a superhero. It would have to be like something weird. It's not like I wouldn't give him Iron Man or Spider-Man or something. I would give him like a Q list, like weird bullshit guy, and just let him go nuts, explore that space.
Okay.
I really liked Thin Red Line, and I utterly hated Tree of Life.
Okay.
But I want to see him direct the Hulk.
Okay.
Huh. Yeah, I would have to be like Brainiac or something where he could stretch some conceptual muscles. I just don't want him like doing a movie where the Hulk punches guys.
Terrence Malick.
That's why I want to see his Hulk.
Yeah.
Terrence Malick's The Hulk would just be the sad Hulk walking away music for 2.5 hours.
Well, someone reads Latin poetry backwards or something.
Yeah.
Nah, there'd be a lot of dialogue between the Hulk and Bruce Banner. You know, like it would almost exclusively be a one-man movie where the only dialogue you really hear is, you know, like his Bruce Banner and then like a voice-modulated Hulk, which would be the same actor talking to one another, set over top of scenes of like Bruce Banner trying to get regular stuff during the day and then like the Hulk flipping out, but like in a completely linear fashion.
I'm actually happy that people like Terrence Malick can be successful enough to keep doing the shit they do, because I would think people who have that kind of artistic sense would not be profitable. But I mean, his shit makes enough money to continue, so that's a heartening sign, even if I'm not like, it doesn't blow my hair back particularly, but it's cool.
All right.
Shit, man, they have gotten some weird directors for those superhero movies, now that I think about it. That's not out of the realm of possibility. Another question, guys. How about that?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Jade, who needs a question asker nickname, which is a thing I'm doing now, definitely. Professor Jade, Doctor of Questions, asks, if you could cosplay one character, who would you dress as? And for that matter, have you cosplayed anyone before?
No.
You have not before? And is your answer to who you would dress up no? Just no?
Doctor no. I don't have an answer to that, though.
I've never.
I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I've never cosplayed.
I would never want to.
I don't have the confidence or the craftiness to like make a thing, and I guess I could buy one, but I don't know. I've never felt the compulsion, and I don't really go to like conventions or anything. But if I was going to cosplay, I would probably do the main character from Steins Gate, who is just like a tall, dark-haired, white guy nerd like myself, but he has like a pimp-ass lab coat. So that'd be pretty easy. I would just wear a lab coat and run around anime conventions yelling at people, because that's his thing. I feel like that would be lowest effort for the most reward.
Okay. I like cosplayers. You know, when I go to conventions, I like, oh, that's cool. You're that. It's fun. But I personally I'm not comfortable doing it.
Yeah. I'm not comfortable like having a bodily existence. So drawing attention to it is just like double plus bad.
Yeah. Johnny, any thoughts about cosplay?
I mean,
as our resident hot guy,
yeah,
give us a different perspective.
No, I probably would. You know, I always enjoyed Halloween as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't really say that. Yeah, this one time I dressed up as Guybrush Threepwood, even though this one time I dressed up as Guybrush Threepwood for Halloween.
Did anybody get
now?
it? Did anybody say, "Oh, Monkey Island"?
No.
Cool.
You are way overestimating the people that I managed to find friends with when I was in high school.
No, I would assume the answer would be no. That's what I thought.
I still don't know who that is until you mentioned it was the Monkey Island guy. I didn't even know who that is.
Yeah.
But
so,
anyway.
but I totally would again. Absolutely. And it would have to be Hannibal from Brian Fuller's series.
So you would just wear Michael Mads like a suit, or Mads Mikkelsen? What's his name? Fuck
Yeah.
Mads Mikkelsen. Yeah. All right.
In fact, I would do that on a day-to-day basis.
You just climb inside him like a Gundam and drive him around.
Fuck yeah.
All right.
Oh man, yeah.
All right, that's a cheapo answer. If I had to give myself to the cosplay, something that would require effort or something like that. That's a little trickier.
Yeah, I mean, I went for the easy answer. Like I said, I would just put on a lab coat. But if I was like, oh, if I had an ideal self-confidence and body and infinite money and time, I would do Sailor Jupiter or something, just because I fucking could, right? Obviously, that's
I usually wear a suit when I'm at a convention, so I could just tell people I'm Lex Luthor if I wanted to. But
he's the only character in fiction who wears a suit, which makes it really easy to tell who he is. Obviously,
no, I mean because I'm a big bald guy. Anyway,
you wouldn't go Kingpin? I would think Kingpin.
Kingpin's heavier though.
Pillows, just tie a pillow.
No, what I'm trying to say is I literally don't want to.
No.
All right, next question.
Maybe Gambit.
Okay.
Maybe Gambit.
Jess is actually dressed up as Gambit.
Robert Lady Killer Paulson of last week's best question. And we need to get more romance questions, more love life questions, because even though we will ruin them on purpose, I think it's funny. You can make it up, question askers. They don't have to be real questions. You can just troll us.
I'd appreciate if you would not. What is the question?
Yeah, you're probably not going to answer this, but I'm going to ask it because it's funny. Leon, Johnny, do you have any sex toys? Austin, how many sex toys do you have?
I love the way that's phrased.
I know, that's why I read it, because it's a very good joke on me, not on my behalf. I don't have any. I don't think I wanted me to answer this seriously. What is it about me that makes me the target of that joke? Do I come off like a person who has a gimp dungeon?
I don't, and so I guess that's the answer to that.
Yep.
That's not surprising. Also, you're an adult. It's fine. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. I'm a super boring ass vanilla dude, unfortunately.
I don't even like my own junk, so
It's funny that you say that, Austin, because I consider myself to be a boring ass vanilla dude.
Mm-hmm.
Every single time I've ever had a sexual partner, and you get to that point where you start being like, okay, so, what are you into? As opposed to just sort of following the so you've discovered intercourse. Pamphlet that they hand out. You guys have those, right?
Oh,
yeah. I think we truck in baseball metaphors around these parts.
Yeah, well, so once you get to that point, I've always been sort of I don't know, stuff, whatever.
Just get in there and slap it around.
just like a speed bag at the boxing gym.
I only date Muhammad Ali exclusively.
But then, apparently, shrug, not that vanilla.
Okay.
I was actually talking about this recently with a lady friend, and I was like, I'd never thought of myself as someone who has a thing or things. I'm just boring, and I don't know if that's okay, because dudes are weird sometimes, and it's a lot to take. So it's less to worry about with me, but also kind of boring. I don't know.
It's in the first place, it's a fucking crime that there are men around this world who seem to think that it's oh, sex is easy for women. All you gotta do is lie there. It's just dude.
That your sex sounds really boring. What are you doing?
I know. That's just that sounds fucking horrible. That sounds like you just, you were like, I want to get sweaty on top of you. What the fuck?
Wow.
Oh my.
I like that. I like that redneck character we're creating. Bad sex Sam.
No, that's not my redneck character. That's not a redneck character right there.
What is it?
It's just a douchey guy.
That's the douchey guy character.
Okay.
The guy who purposely tries to make his voice sound as low as possible, bro. you know. I was at the gym, just like getting big, you know.
Just blasting that core.
And then this dude grabbed my butt, and I grabbed his butt, and he was like, fag, and I was like, what?
You're terrible. I mentioned, in the show, I'm not that interested in sex, and it's not a thing I usually enjoy, or,
One of my favorite Leon quotes is, "I just don't want to watch straight people have sex."
There is that too. But no, in all seriousness, I don't get much out of it physically, and I don't have very much like desire for it. I'm not asexual, but I'm closer to that than like average. Remember earlier in the show when I said I'd rather have a grilled cheese sandwich than play a video game? I'd rather have a grilled cheese sandwich than have sex.
Yeah.
I like being in a relationship. I like romance and things like that. But the actual physical component of it is like I could completely take it or leave it. I'm not saying I've never enjoyed sex, but I usually don't.
Yeah, people have different levels of like needs and drives, like hormones or whatever.
Yeah.
It's totally just a thing.
Not a big deal. But yeah, so like when someone says like, so Leon, do you have any sex toys? I'm like, for what?
Like, I don't know. Like the thing I always say is like,
drawing models.
like sex is already pretty good. Like how cool are you that you've explored it so thoroughly that you now need to spice it up with like dolphins or whatever people get up to with their dildo shapes. I don't know. It just seems pretty sweet already. But yeah, whatever it takes, I guess.
It can go places, Austin.
No, I know. No. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like how to turn this into comedy without taking it to like Gross Town, basically.
By the way, that is definitely the episode title, Taking It to Gross.
I will have both of you know, as well as any listeners, that anything that I decide to get up to between any amount of consenting adults and myself in my own home is not Gross Town.
I mean, not for you, because obviously you brought it into your home, but it could be someone else's Gross Town.
It
I'm not forcing it onto anybody else, so it's not Gross Town.
What about the people who are peeking through your windows, Johnny? Think about them.
Well, there are other windows to peek through.
Try one of the non-fuck rooms.
Come on. I mean, it's clearly labeled with the neon sign.
Oh my goodness. I'm looking through these questions, and some of them are Dice Funk, which I don't know how much we can get into because we're very close to the end of the season, and I don't want to ruin anything. And the other ones are like video games, so we can't delve into them. So either we can.
Why do people still send you video game questions when we've explicitly said that we're not going to?
Well, I usually save them and just talk about them on Game Crunk, which is a show you should be listening to. I had ESPN's Tyler Yorsky.
I like it that you announce your brother as ESPN's Tyler Yorsky.
Yeah, thanks for explaining my joke to me, Johnny. Yeah, it's my brother. He was on.
So he works for ESPN?
Yeah, he does like audio work at the college level. So if you watch a
for
college football
ESPN.
game. Yeah. Which is
in case you didn't know, Leon, ESPN has employed him.
Oh,
which is why he works for ESPN.
Does he get a paycheck from ESPN?
It gets it from Disney because Disney owns ESPN.
Oh, okay. So he actually works for Disney.
Yeah.
Okay.
He works
why
for
don't you say
Disney ESPN.
It was just a thing I was doing because I thought it was funny, and then Johnny fucking dunked on me mercilessly. God.
All right. If there's like one more, we can do it. I guess. If not, then that's fine.
I guess we can. Here's one, and then this could be our last one. It's not like it's not heavy or dark or anything. Hector H.
Darn.
asks, what do you guys think of higher education and enchiladas separately? And I always get what makes an enchilada an enchilada? Because I'm like, okay, burritos, tacos, carnitas. It's all like just dope Mexican food to me.
I'm looking it up right now.
I think enchiladas are I think they're cut
Fajitas.
up and fried in the pan.
Like, they're all good, is where this is leading. Like, there are no bad Mexican dishes.
No, I just mean that, like, I think it's more like a weird kind of like Mexican stew thing. So it's almost like making like burritos, but like not encased. It's like if a burrito exploded in the pan and you were like, I'm gonna cook this anyway.
I'm looking at the pictures, and yeah, it does look a little messy.
And then there's tamales, which is like corn husks around some of that stuff, but it's still pretty much the same stuff, right? It's
Yeah.
meat and cheese and then like some kind of binding agent.
Everything
Sometimes,
is just
sometimes beans,
everything is just Mexico sandwiches.
maybe
We
rice.
could just call them that.
They're all the best food.
Although
Sure.
I discovered a place in the last couple of months that has like concurrently every year won best tacos in Vancouver. They make some pretty fucking good tacos.
Okay.
There's a
hi-
beef tongue taco.
Mm.
Beef tongue.
Mm,
And if you
Alright.
get there on a special day, tripe.
gross.
Yeah.
Nope.
So,
Fucking good.
higher education. Go if you want to do something that requires that, or if you have money to spare and just want to take poetry classes and stuff. If you don't want to, don't let anyone guilt you about it. Not everything in life will come about from having a bachelor's degree. In terms of finances, technically speaking, on average, people who have graduated college do make more, but only a little.
And that's over the long haul. You still have to pay back your
Yeah.
student debt over like 10 years or something. So it's not a get rich quick scheme.
Right.
Yeah, I
mean,
was gonna
speaking of-
say it's a great way to rack up debt.
Yeah. Speaking of someone who, went to college, and I'm glad that I did, I would recommend it if you want to, but I don't, and, when I was a teacher, I would sort of encourage my students to look into it because that was my job, to endorse education. But, you sort of go your own way. I was fortunate. I was able to go through college without having to accumulate any debt. Had I no money, I don't know what exactly I would have done. I guess I would have gone anyway, and it would still be paying it off now and wondering whether or not it was worth it because I didn't stick with teaching for more than 7 years. I don't know. I guess that's how I feel.
You should you should know yourself because some people don't do well in that environment. Like I know people for whom college was just like hella stressful. Like even if they were smart or whatever, like it was just not where they wanted to be, and it weighed on them quite heavily. I'm not that.
I did not do well there.
The unfortunate thing about knowing yourself going into college, you usually go into college when you're 18, and you don't know yourself that well then. I mean, I'm not saying definitely wait until you're 25, but you might do better then. I don't know. I mean, everyone is different, so I don't want to give like a one strict rule about going to college.
Yeah. It's a case-by-case basis. Like you said, if you're a doctor or something, like if you want to be a doctor, you have to go to school. Like this is not an option.
Yeah.
But if you're like still figuring shit out, or if you're like, oh, I kind of want to be like a mechanic or something that you can just do like a trade thing, or like there are other options for that. You don't feel compelled to do it. But like, yeah, when you're 18, you don't have the world figured out, but if you're the kind of person who like would rather be anywhere other than school, like that. I knew myself well enough to know that like I do very well in academia. Like that's where I feel comfortable. I would rather be in school than like a job. So like I definitely would be the kind of person who would get like multiple degrees and stuff. And some people who are perfectly smart would rather be in hell than that. So that's just something you have to kind of take into account as well. Yeah, enchiladas, higher education.
All right. Anything you guys want to say before we go?
I would like to do a very short reading.
Sure.
We would.
It's only it's only a few sentences.
All right.
I don't know. Do you guys know who Shannon Wheeler is?
No.
No, sorry.
Okay. Shannon Wheeler is probably most famous these days for being a cartoonist for, I believe, The New Yorker. But I know him more as the creator and illustrator and writer of the independent comic book Too Much Coffee Man.
Okay.
Is that like Mr. Caffeine?
No, Too Much Coffee Man is a comic that's kind of simultaneously about everything and nothing. It's one of the weirdest comic books I've ever come across. If you get a chance to, you can drop by Shannon Wheeler's site, which I can't remember Shannon Wheeler, which is www.tmcm.com. So that's Tango Mike Charlie Mike.com. He's a very talented cartoonist, an extremely funny man. And I came to this book because Shannon Wheeler was responsible for drawing the cartoons in it. But the book is chiefly written by a man named Mark Russell, whose work I'm unfamiliar with at all. But apparently, according to his About the Author section here, he's a writer and occasionally draws cartoons. His work has previously appeared in McSweeney's, Bear Deluxe, Unshot Quills, Blog of the Damned, and several now defunct magazines. This work I'm about to read for you, is called God is Disappointed in You. Russell, the author, describes this as a book for people who want to read about the Bible, or who want to read the Bible, if it would just cut to the chase. So I am going to read for you now the first paragraph, again, only about 3 sentences, from the Gospel of Matthew, the very first paragraph, the beginning of the Gospel of Matthew. Here we go. Jesus was born in a barn in a small town called Bethlehem. Despite his redneck beginnings, everyone seemed to realize there was something really special about Jesus. Even foreigners noticed it. And,
Yeah.
and that was the very first paragraph of the Gospel of Matthew. Carry it with you in your heart, everybody.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometime we'll need to talk about the geographical insularism of the Bible, but that's a topic for another day.
Oh
Okay.
man, you should read Revelations. Revelations is fantastic.
It's only one revelation, Johnny.
Oh
Yeah.
no! It's just like there's bits in here that are written in brackets, in italics, like this one that goes, "Psst, I'm writing in code again. The first beast is an allegory for the Roman Empire."
Yep, sure is.
Yeah, so it's good stuff.
Oh man, I got to show you guys my Bible sometime. I think I'll put it on Twitter or something. It's the size of the boulder that kills the villain in episode 4 of Star Trek.
Ooh, I'm sorry. There's one more thing that I wanted to read to you specifically, Austin.
Uh-oh.
From Genesis here, that's talking about Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
And it reads, Jacob spent 14 years working that guy's farm. His real rock-bottom moment, though, came when he broke his arm wrestling with an angel. God changed Jacob's name to Israel, which means one who wrestles with God. As far as I know, Israel is still the only nation named after a wrestler.
Yeah, the Bible's weird. Leon, did you have any last thoughts?
Yeah, movies I watched recently that everyone should watch. A Touch of Sin, which is a Chinese film about crime in China, and it is quite good. And Barry Lyndon, which is the next episode of Renegade Cut, coming very, very soon. And that's it.
An unsung Kubrick movie, I think.
Yeah. There was kind of a joke on The Simpsons where they, on a Treehouse of Horror episode recently, I think it was last year's or the year before, where they did all the Kubrick films, and you saw all the ones that people remember, and then comic book guy comes in dressed in aristocratic wear, shoots someone, and says, "Nobody even remembers which one this is." And that's kind of the way people think about Barry Lyndon, or they don't at all. But anyway, that's that. Yeah, I'm going to leave now. Any last words?
That's probably a pretty good career moment for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you
Okay.
Do you guys know that there's a movie called The Gruffalo and Mark Ruffalo isn't in it? This is bullshit.
Is Janine Gruffalo in it?
That's all I had for that joke. I didn't think you were gonna press me.
One-upped, Austin. One-upped.